said every Nazi in this video game. Yes. I gotta ask, Nick.
Yes?
How many scalps did you collect?
100.
Hell yeah. Actually, probably a little bit more in this game, because holy shit is there a lot.
Most of the men didn't have heads for me to scalp.
Yeah, very true. We're talking about Wolfenstein, the New Order. I have to say it all weird because, it has to be a little German. Yes, this is Bloody Screen Podcast, and we're reviewing this game. Yeah. Yeah, Nick.
Get that out of my system.
This game was Brandon cracked. They're like, hey, Brandon. I was like, hey, how's it going, game? They looked at me and said, you like killing Nazis? I'm like, I'm not against it. I'm not going to rally against killing some Nazis. They're like, what if you could kill them in very, very brutal ways? You have my attention. And what if the weapons you use will actually do some fucking damage to them? Like, so, say if you have a shotgun up close, guess what? You just blew off his legs. I'm like, now you have me fully erect. So yes, if you watched our Bloody Time, you probably heard Brandon's boner just throbbing over the mic. And yes, that was the entire game for me. Let me ask you, Nick, did you enjoy the violence in this game?
I did.
Yes, I really have to say, it's probably one of my favorite first-person shooters come out in a little while. And that could be saying a lot or not, but the story, anyways, is the Nazis, those rapscallion little bastards, they took over the world. Like
they won. Yay.
They won. Thank you. Yay. They took over the world, and they won. The entire world. Like, even though you spend the majority of the game in, Europe, everyone speaks English, because that'd be a pain in the ass if you had to read the whole time. So, yeah, everyone's...
Yeah, because, Nazis, of course, when they rule the world, want everyone to speak English,
yes,
obviously.
That is exactly what they did. They're like, you know what? We just wanted to take over the world to learn English. No one would teach us English. That was Hitler's evil plan the entire time. I also want to point out one thing. There was no Jews. They took over the world, so...
I don't know. I think Blauskowicz sounds pretty Jewish.
He might have been the last Jew. I'm not 100%, but I don't think there was many Jews left in this alternate reality. And also in this alternate reality, which they do not explain, is good God to the Nazi scientists, they're fucking geniuses. Because, in the beginning level, you're like all in this World War II fighter, you got like, you got your Thompson machine gun, I gotta take out these Nazis. All of a sudden, these freaking Nazis already have robot, lions and stuff, and they're just ripping you to shit. There's no wonder why they won. They were like decades advanced. I mean, we don't have this technology today.
This took place in the friggin' 60s.
Yes, I mean, the game overall takes place in those 60s. So honestly, what this game is trying to say, people, is if the Nazis took over the world, we've already had a successful space exploration. Because they already made
moon colonization.
Yes, they already colonized the moon. And I'm just like, wow.
In the real world, 70 years or 50 years later, what can we do? Oh, we put Wi-Fi on the moon. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
No! The one astronaut a decade that goes up there and says, oh, cool, I could send Twitter pics. Yeah, I don't know.
Pics from space!
Well, what's really sad is today's age, we still have people who do not believe we went. It's one of the conspiracy theories that we never actually made it to the moon. So we still have people who don't even think we've been to the moon. And I guarantee if we colonized that moon, they'd be like, well, I guess we went to the moon. But anyways, we're getting a little off topic with the Nazi killing. But unlike the previous revamp that they did a few years ago, I want to say probably 2008 or 9, they did the other revamp of Wolfenstein, which didn't do too well. It did not do well at all.
Which is why I was not, excited for this game.
Yeah, I actually played all the way through that other one. The other one did this weird dimensions thing, and it was way more about, like, the evil Nazi experiments and not so much about the evil Nazi technology. So they took a different route with it. I like this route way better than them trying to create monsters and stuff. I like the whole, like,
I gotta ask, is the main villain in the first game too?
No, I don't even remember.
Head or...
I don't remember who
Tater
the villain
Tot or
was.
whatever the fuck his name is?
Tater Tot. I think it was Tater Salad in the other one. I'm not 100%. This villain, Death's Head, he is a motherfucker. Like, this dude is like the Nazi version of the Joker. Like, he's just...
Mixed with the little Red Skull.
Yeah, he's like Red Skull meets Joker, batshit insane, but, he's still a Nazi.
And he's got the fucked up face.
I do have to say one thing, though. So, Death's Head is the main villain in this, Nick. One of my problems was, okay, so basically the entire game is you trying to take out Death's Head and, hurt the Nazi regime. Yet they don't ever mention about, like, trying to take on Hitler, because if this alternate reality, Hitler never would have had to kill himself, so he's still technically in power. Why don't we kill Hitler, too?
Maybe he did kill himself, I don't know.
He killed himself. It was out of depression. He was just like, I can't take this anymore. So much stress!
The whole world is too much for one man to handle.
Yes, maybe he couldn't take it anymore. Maybe he got tired of everyone trying their best Hitler accents. He's like, I'm tired of Saturday Night Live making fun of me. Because, of course, in the Nazi regime, that would be the one thing American that would stay. Yeah.
Saturday Night Live didn't air for another 5 years.
Nazis were advanced, Nick. They probably got it a little earlier. Anyways, yeah, so the main villain's Death's Head, and they introduce a couple other villains that I don't even remember their names.
I remember Booby. Come here, Booby.
Booby, okay. Yes, and then you also get your little rep team of, just resistant fighters, which one consists of an ex-Nazi, a wheelchair lady, which I'm supposed to recognize her because they kind of made a big deal when she came on screen. Like, he remembered.
How did you survive?
Yeah.
But so did Death's Head. He looks at you. I remember you.
Well, you actually saw Death's Head. You never saw the British or, like, German, French chick. I don't really know what the hell
she was. German.
Okay. You never
Heard
saw
your
her.
accents.
You never saw her before. And then you survived. I'm like, I'm sorry, am I supposed to, did I miss a flashback?
You never saw her that you know of.
Do you remember seeing her, Nick?
I never played a previous game.
Well, okay, so I don't believe this is a direct tie-in. I mean, it might be. But, I forget, like I said, I haven't played that other one in a long-ass time, so for all I know, the other one might have been a very open-ended ending where Blasphemous, he kicks some ass, because they use the same character model. I can't attest to that. He is the same exact character model that they used in the other game. You never saw him, you just saw his little picture, kind of like the old school style did, where you see his little picture in the corner doing weird shit every time he got hurt. You never, to my knowledge, the other game was doing Call of Duty style cutscenes though, where this one does a weird mixture, where sometimes we'll have the Call of Duty style cutscene where they're just talking, like, to you, the player, and other times it cuts into this very, very beautiful actual CG cutscene where you see Blasphemous, walking around.
Oh yeah, it looked beautiful on the 360. I can't imagine what it looked like on the PS4.
Oh, dude, you know what's really makes me sad, Nick? This is how good this game is, folks. This game looks so freaking good. When I got, I put in Watch Dogs, and I had but the words what the fuck happened actually came out of my mouth of, wait, what? No! This is like dialing back. I have to say, Bethesda, id, all those fuckers, Machine Games, they had like 3 different studios made this game. Yeah, they did a hell of a job with the graphics. On the PS4 alone, it was a 52 gig, installation. So that is a test of something. And I don't know how many gigs it took up on the 360, but you said it was about an hour installation on the 360, which, wow.
Yeah, it was probably, it was about 5 gigs.
It's still, like, I understand why they did it, because they wanted to make it, really good looking. I also have to respect about this game, though, Nick. It does something I did not expect it to do, and that is multiple ways to complete your objective. You can go guns a-blazing, or you can go stealthy. There are different ways you can actually complete your objective. They have different routes you can take. I was rather impressed with that. Not every single objective can be done like that. Sometimes they're just kind of like, no, you better go balls in because it's happening. Yeah. And
I was, right at the end, they just throw you into a corridor with like 2 mechs, 4 super soldiers, 3 dudes with rocket launchers, some dudes with shotguns.
I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of a pain in the ass for me. I was just
now once I figured out how.
Well, basically I died 2 times on that part when they just throw like literally every enemy that you have ever fought damn near into that.
Except for the big ass tigers.
Yeah, besides robot tigers, which they established can't be hurt by small arms anyways, so it would be kind of bullshit if they did throw those in there. Yeah, basically they throw all these enemies, like big, small, at you, and I got trapped in a corner basically because they were coming at all ends. I was taking on one end, all of a sudden getting shot from the other, which brings me to another point of this is some old school gaming people where you don't get regenerated health. You got to find your health packs, which their health packs are plentiful.
But you have to know when to use them.
Yeah, you don't want to just keep picking up every single one. I started saving them just in case I had to double back that way, because you never know. Sometimes you have to double back, either the objective or there's a fuckload of enemies charging right at you. You're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I'm not going to die.
I will admit, this is one of those games like, wow, there's a lot of health packs laying around in this room. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you find a lot of health packs, you overcharge one time and the overcharge starts going away. When you find a lot of armor and stuff, you know something's happening. And they deal out the enemies it's really great how they do it, because they don't just start out just like, oh yeah, they don't just introduce these random enemies. They just gradually up the difficulty. It's really great. And then, as I said, of course, going back to the graphics, most of the enemies, like most of the cannon fodder Nazi guys that are all, they all wear the masks because guess what? You don't have to generate faces when you do masks for everybody. Those guys and the commanders, they will go flying apart. You could shoot off their heads, and later on in the game you get a gun that will literally make them explode. And it is one of the most satisfying things to do.
Oh yeah, and that's like the main weapon in the game, because that's the only weapon you never lose except for one fight.
But I do have to say one thing though, Nick. I hate the way they do the weapon system in this. I do not like that weapon wheel bullshit, because what it basically, it just wasn't like what I would want. I actually would prefer if they just gave me two weapons and just had me press triangle between the two, instead of saying like, oh, well, this gun's out of ammo. But instead of them, switching to one of your other weapons that has ammo, you have to actually pull up your reticle with the circle weapon wheel, pick another one, hope to God you did it right, because if you didn't do it right, then you actually got rid of your...
Yeah, that never happened with me.
Oh,
if I ran out of ammo, it switched me to another gun.
Yeah, no, mine would switch me to my other gun, but if my other gun was low or just not the weapon for that occasion, you'd be like, well, you're just out of ammo until you press...
I don't know about you, but I got the laser workcraft upgrade in that game where it automatically recharged.
Oh, I never got that upgrade. I got to the upgrade where it went sniper status and it was really powerful. But yeah. And there are upgrades you have to find, so there is some exploration. And now, honestly, it's one of the less linear types of ones, going back to the whole thing of, linear you choose. There's also, you can basically discover an entire map, because even when you find the map itself, all the dark shaded stuff, you can go explore it, or you can just run to your objective, really depending what kind of player you are.
I'm not gonna lie. It took me 3/4 of the game to figure out how to even use the map.
Oh, well, I figured okay. That didn't take me that long, but,
mostly because I was like, okay, most games put the map in the, pause screen. Nope, not here. Oh well, it must not exist.
Yeah. I understand that, because it was one of the arrow buttons, which was quite strange, honestly, to put a map there. They also put, you also have, I only found like 3 of the weapons actually were even customizable, and that was the laser weapon, the machine gun had a rocket attachment to it, and the shotgun had the bouncing bullets. And that is...
And the pistol had a silencer.
Oh yeah, and the pistol had a silencer. That was, yeah. Which that comes in very handy until you get to...
And, the shotgun, the bouncing bullet, the sniper had the, laser.
Oh yeah, it was the laser rifle on the side. Yeah, that's what it was.
And they all had attachments.
Yeah, okay, you're right. They did. And yeah, and I will have to admit, Nick, once I actually started using the grenades more, you were correct. Those are the most useless fucking grenades. I actually threw them at someone and it didn't even kill him. It just stunned him. I'm like, I'm sorry, what are these supposed to do exactly?
They're good against mechs. That's about it.
Oh yeah, they were good against the heavies because they actually did something. But
and they stunned them long enough for you to shoot them.
That was basically their entire usefulness. And yes, to the story-wise, I have to admit, they actually made this a very compelling story about basically a revolution during the Nazi regime. It was really compelling for me to continue with these characters. They made every single character that, actually had lines.
Even Max Haas?
Yeah, even him, dude. I mean,
He's basically Hodor.
Yeah, I mean, that Hodor guy, he becomes a bad motherfucker at the end, dude. Oh, yes, they made all the characters interesting. They actually give you time to time to actually interact with each individual character. There's like only like a handful of them. I guess
I like the crazy girl that talks to herself.
Oh, crazy girl that talks to herself. They actually give her some FaceTime. And yes, it was a little predictable what happened towards the end, Nick. I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, the moment... I'm not even gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna say the moment I saw their base, I knew exactly what was gonna happen. But yes, they give all the characters screen time, and they actually give, like, the British dude that you get in the beginning, you get a choice of what you're gonna do with him. I actually really started giving a shit about that character, and he made up some good points, and I was like, wow, this is really good voice acting in this. I was rather impressed, because they could have just made your cookie cutter, just, I'm the hero. And they made you hate the fucking Nazis, dude. When you meet that one Nazi bitch, I wanted to shoot her in the face so fucking badly. Oh my god, she was worse than Death's Head, in my opinion.
The girl with the fucked up face?
Oh yeah, the chick that, basically, she gets more screen time than the main villain.
That's because the main villain's like, hi guys, I'm here in the beginning. Alright, I'll see you at the end.
I know, basically, that's literally what the main villain does. You hardly see him at all. But you see her, she's almost like, she's basically his right hand almost, and you see her throughout the game, and she is a cunt. And it's not hard to hate a Nazi, but damn do they make you just want to, And this game gets dark and gritty, and it's just what I wanted, Nick. This is exactly what I was hoping for. I'm trying to think anything else we can add to this. I mean, we covered a lot.
If you have a sociopathic murder boner, this is a game for you.
Oh yes. Even if violence doesn't do you any fancy, this is a really good first-person shooter regardless. This is very well done. This is not your typical just go down this corridor shoot. It's not your hallway shooter like the game started out to be. I mean, for fuck's sakes, they actually let you play the original in some weird fashion where you use your own hands.
And all the 2D graphics rotate to make sure you're always looking at them.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing.
That game mode is really hard.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking challenging, dude. I got so far into it, and then I died, and I was like, all right, I'm probably not going back to this.
And it wouldn't let me go back, so it's like, all right, guess that's cool.
Yeah. Besides that, all I can say is I hope for a sequel with this game, because honestly, they kind of hooked me for it, and they kind of have it set up as right now where they could make a sequel, or if this doesn't sell well enough, well, guess what? We did end it. It has one of those kind of endings where they're very open to what they can do. They did not, it's not definitive.
The Nazi regime's not over. His is still around, probably.
Probably, like I made that point in the beginning. Like, he never killed himself. They won, And I would like to see them continue in this universe, to see us actually, I want to see, I want them to make, at least into a trilogy or some shit where, you actually overthrow the Nazis and everything's kumbaya at the end, type of thing.
With your handful of renegades.
Yes, with their handful of renegades, and maybe you introduce some more characters and more Nazis and all that. Any final thoughts, Nick?
Nope.
Yeah, I kind of, listen to the whole review. That's my final thoughts. But anyways, rating, Nick, rating.
I'll give it 4 Nazi scalps.
4 Nazi scalps out of 5. I've been rattling my brain trying to think of anything really wrong with this game, and the only thing I could think of was how they did the weapons, and that marked it off. And that was I didn't get any, you had one game glitch, and I had
but that was
one.
A fun game glitch where I just kept falling and the screen glitched out like some Slenderman video shit.
Yeah, and mine was one where I literally got stuck in a rock and enemies were shooting at me, but when I killed all the enemies, I still could not get away from that rock. And as we established, the grenades don't do shit, so I couldn't get myself out of the rock because I couldn't, do a grenade bounce or anything. So I was just stuck there and I had to restart the checkpoint, which wasn't very far. That's like a baby complaint. That hardly even counts. So, honestly, I'm gonna give 4.5 Nazi scalps, or maybe 4.59 out of 5. I mean, it is a damn near perfect game. If you're gonna pick up your first-person shooter for the year, why not make it this one? Yeah, that's it, everybody. Tune in next week to find out for another review. It's probably just gonna be me. I'm not gonna lie, because no one else is playing Watch Dogs, so. Yes, anyways.
You got Scotty. Well, yeah, no, never mind, just you.
Okay. Anyways, that is it, everybody. Good night.